Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, verse 12. Jaya Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janaballabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Janaballabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Jamuna Tira Banachari Jamuna Tira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janaballabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Janaballabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayam Vishnupada Paramahamsa Paribrajakachaja Stotara Sata Sri Srimad Hesi Bhaktivedanta Swami Shira Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Sila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gora Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Shri Vrindavan Mathura Dham Ki Jai Navadvip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai Jamuna Mai Ki Jai Ganga Mai Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, verse 12. Ishtan Bhogan Ivo Deva Dashyante Yajna Bhavitaha Tairdattana Pralayaibhyo Yo Bhunkte Stena Evasa Ishtan Bhogan Ivo Deva Dashyante Yajna Bhavitaha Tairdattana Pralayaibhyo Yo Bhunkte Stena Evasa Ishtan Bhogan Ivo Deva Dashyante Yajna Bhavita Tairdattana Padayabhyo Yo Bhunkte Stena Evasa Ishtan desired, bhogan, necessities of life, he certainly, va, unto you, deva, the demigods, dashyante, award, yajna bhavitaha, being satisfied by the performance of sacrifice, tai, by them, datan, things given, apradaya, without offering, ebhyaha, to the demigods, ya, he, who, bhunkte, enjoys, stenaha, thief, eva, certainly, saha, is he. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. In charge of the various necessities of life, the demigods, being satisfied by the performance of yajna, sacrifice, supply all necessities to man. But he who enjoys these gifts without offering them in return to the demigods is certainly a thief. Purport. The demigods are authorized supplying agents on behalf of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. Therefore, they must be satisfied by the performance of prescribed yajnas. In the Vedas, there are different kinds of yajnas prescribed for different kinds of demigods, but all are ultimately offered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For one who cannot understand what the Personality of Godhead is, sacrifice to the demigods is recommended. According to the different material qualities of the persons concerned, different types of yajnas are recommended in the Vedas. Worship of different demigods is also on the same basis, namely according to the different qualities. For example, the meat eaters are recommended to worship the goddess Kali, the ghastly form of material nature, and before the goddess a sacrifice of animals is recommended. But for those who are in the mode of goodness, the transcendental worship of Vishnu is recommended. But ultimately, all yajnas are meant for gradual promotion to the transcendental position. For ordinary men, at least 5 yajnas, known as Pancha Mahayajna, are necessary. One should know, however, that all necessities of life that the human society requires are supplied by the demigods of the Lord, agents of the Lord. No one can manufacture anything. Take, for example, all the eatables of human societies. These eatables include grains, fruits, vegetables, milk, sugar, etc. for the persons in the mode of goodness, and also eatables for the non-vegetarians like meat, etc., none of which can be manufactured by men. Then again, take for example heat, light, water, air, etc., which are also necessities of life. None of them can be manufactured by the human society. Without the Supreme Lord, there can be no profuse sunlight, moonlight, rainfall, breeze, etc., without which no one can live. Obviously, our life is dependent on supplies from the Lord. Even for our manufacturing enterprises, we require many raw materials like metal, sulfur, mercury, manganese, and so many essentials, all of which are supplied by the agents of the Lord, with the purpose that we should make proper use of them to keep ourselves fit and healthy for the purpose of self-realization, leading to the ultimate goal of life, namely liberation from material struggle of existence. This aim of life is attained by performance of yajnas. If we forget the purpose of human life and simply take supplies from the agents of the Lord for sense gratification and become more and more entangled in material existence, which is not the purpose of the creation, certainly we will become thieves, and therefore we will be punished by the laws of material nature. A society of thieves can never be happy because they have no aim in life. The gross materialist thieves have no ultimate goal of life. They're simply directed to sense gratifications, nor do they have knowledge of how to perform yajna. Lord Chaitanya, however, inaugurated the easiest performance of yajna, namely the Sankirtan yajna, which can be performed by anyone in the world who accepts the principles of Krishna consciousness. Ishtan Bhogan Hivo Devan Dasyante Yajna Bhavita Tair Dattan Apradayabhyo Yo Bhunkte Stena Eva Sa. We must understand that Bhagavad Gita, spoken by Krishna 5,000 years ago, is an instruction for the gradual progress of human society. It is not that the highest goal of human life is described in the Bhagavad Gita. The highest goal, called the Pancham Purushartha, is to actually develop our love for Krishna. There are different goals of life, beginning with Kama, Artha, Moksha, desire, material satisfaction, liberation. But Lord Chaitanya said that the purpose of this Dharma is to actually understand what is our eternal relationship with God. Normally speaking, in all religions and in the Vedas and in general in the management of the universe, the living entities are given an opportunity to gradually develop their spiritual identity, which has been forgotten by identifying with the body. Little by little, just like a parent, he gives his children an opportunity to grow up, and he supplies them the needs according to their consciousness, according to their understanding. Obviously, what a small baby needs is not what he needs when he's 15 or 20 years old. But the parent, loving father, he supplies these needs as the children grow and become more conscious. Ultimately, the consciousness of the child is to understand that this is my father, he has given me a birth, he has given me all the material facilities that I've enjoyed, so let me reciprocate and thank him and in this way serve him. So, to gradually move the living entity from the animal position of identifying with the body to the transcendental position of understanding that I am not this body, I am a spirit soul, the society is normally divided into 4 varnas and 4 ashramas. In the 4th chapter of the Gita, Krishna says, Chatur Varnyam Maya Shristram Guna Karma Vibhagashaha, that I have created these 4 varnas, these 4 divisions of life, guna karma, by quality and by work, not by birth. And what is this quality? The quality is that one who is an intellectual, one who is poetic, one who is interested in knowledge, is called a Brahmana, or one who knows the spirit. The move, what makes a Brahmana move, what is the quality of a Brahmana, is that he is after knowledge. And that is all over human society. There is a section of people who are interested in attaining knowledge, transcendental knowledge. The next group are called the Kshatriyas, or the politicians, the warriors, the administrators. And what moves them is power. And in human society we see that there are groups of people who are interested in power. And then you have the Vaishyas, or the commercial group, people who are engaged in commerce, agriculture, cow protection, producing goods. They are interested in wealth or money. And we can see in our society there is a huge group of such people who are interested. Money makes them tick. And then there is the fourth group called the Shudras, and they have no independent activity. They like to be taken care of. They require a master, and they serve the three upper classes. In exchange, the upper classes supply them all the needs. This is called the Varna system. And within this Varna system, there is the ashram system, especially for the higher classes. The higher classes, from the Brahmanas and the Kshatriyas, they understand, even if only theoretically, the Kshatriyas and the Vaishyas, they understand, even if only in theory, that we are spirit soul, and that our needs and necessities are supplied by the Lord via the demigods. Therefore, it makes sense to perform sacrifice to satisfy these demigods. But to satisfy the demigods is not the end of life. It is a gradual process of coming to understand my relationship with God, step by step. The Varnashrama system, where the upper classes are trained in celibacy, brahmacharya, they are trained in restricted and controlled household life, they are trained in detachment and surrender to God. These are called the ashramas, brahmacharya, grihastha, vanaprastha, and sannyas. These ashramas are meant to bring you to the point of death where you understand your spiritual identity and you don't take another material birth. You go back to the spiritual world. But this process is gradual. Therefore, in the 7th chapter of the Gita, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains all the points of spirituality in a condensed form. He gives conditions. For example, he says, Jamma karma shame divyam evam yo veti tatvataha tyaktadaham puna jamma naiti. He says, one who understands my birth and activities doesn't take another birth in the material world, which is all very good. However, there is a condition in this verse. Krishna makes a condition in this declaration. And the condition is, evam yo veti tatvataha. One who knows me in truth. And what is the result of knowing Krishna in truth is that you engage in his devotional service. Then you can be free from birth and death. In the same way, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains different points to Arjuna. But it requires a spiritual master, it requires a realized souls to actually unfluff the Bhagavad Gita, to open it up, just like a lotus flower becomes open and becomes very beautiful. So the spiritual master's job is to open the Bhagavad Gita. In the 7th chapter, Krishna says, Kamai stai rita gyanaha prapadyante anya devataha. That those who are too much interested in enjoying their senses, they approach different demigods. The demigod can be a politician, the demigod can be a king, the demigod can be your wife or your husband. You worship them to get some sense gratification. Kamai stai, kama, lust. So, tam niyamam ashtaya prakritya niyata swaya. Because people who are not under the protection of a self-realized soul, a self-realized spiritual master, those people, they think that the enjoyment of the senses is the purpose of life. Therefore, they cultivate their lives, they worship those who can give them the satisfaction of the senses. But then Krishna says, then he makes a condition, antavat tu phalam tesham tadbhavati alpameda shaham. That those benedictions that you get from powerful people, the sense enjoyment you get from your wife, the sense enjoyment you get from your family, from your husband, it is antavat, Krishna says. It is temporary. Tadbhavati alpamedasham. And if you're satisfied with that, you're alpamedasham, not very, or you lack intelligence. Devan deva yajo yanti, mad bhakta yanti mamapi. Those who worship the devas, those who worship those figures who satisfy their senses, go to those devas. They remain in the material world. But mad bhakta yanti mamapi. But my devotee, he comes to me. So this process of gradual development is the business of the Vedas. It is the business of Christianity. It is the business of Judaism, Islam. It is the business of Buddhism. It is the business to gradually bring us to the point of understanding our relationship with God. Now, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna concludes, Sattva dharmam parijyaja mamekam sharanam braja. Simply surrender to me. I will protect you. He doesn't offer love of God. He offers you an opportunity to understand him. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he understood, or Krishna understood, that nobody actually followed properly my instructions that I gave 5,000 years ago in the Bhagavad Gita. Therefore, let me come again as a devotee of Krishna, externally, to show them how to practice devotional service. So, in the 11th canto of the Bhagavatam, it is explained what is Lord Chaitanya's incarnation. Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam Sangha Pangasta Parshadam. That Lord this incarnation of Krishna is Krishna Varna, is always chanting the name of Krishna. Tvisha Krishnam is not dark, is golden, is the opposite of dark. Krishna means dark. Krishna has a dark complexion. Lord Chaitanya, this incarnation described in the 11th canto of Bhagavatam, is Krishna but in a light, in a golden complexion. Yajna, so Sangupangarsa Parshadam. Yajnair, he taught the Sankirtan Yajna, the Yajna or Sankirtan. Here we're talking about sacrifice. The sacrifice or sacrifice. And Yajante hi sumedasha. Those who are intelligent will worship him. So this is the great gift of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And we, the followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we are actually followers of Rupa Goswami. We are Rupa Anugas. Rupa Anuga means one who follows Rupa Goswami, who was one of the most intimate associates of Krishna. And he described Lord Chaitanya, Namo Mahavadanaya Krishna Prema Pradayate. He said, my dear Lord Chaitanya, you are the Mahavadanya. You're the great giver of the greatest gifts. And what is that? Krishna Prema Pradaya. You are offering Krishna Prema. Even Krishna did not offer Krishna Prema. Krishna says, surrender to me, and I will protect you. I will guide you. But Lord Chaitanya, whether you qualified or unqualified, he offered Krishna Prema. Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gora Tushe Namaha. His name is Krishna, but he is golden in color, and he is called Gauranga, one who has a golden complexion. And this is the great benediction which Lord Krishna is offering through Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, through Rupa Goswami, and through Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada has came to the West to bring this love of God, which he got from Rupa Goswami, from that parampara. So it is like sometimes when there is a new government or some special occasion, the government of a country, they may make an amnesty. They do it in Italy. I know that sometimes when there is a new government, a new president, then they have an amnesty. Amnesty means that certain prisoners are allowed to go free. Not the very bad prisoners, but the ones who are not so criminal, but they are still sitting in prison. They are liberated by the government. It's a special discount. Like today, it's Black Friday. What does it mean? There is a special discount. That normally goods that cost so much are discounted by 30, 40, 50%. So people are encouraged to buy. So in the same way, Krishna, he has his Black Friday, which has been going on for the last 500 years. And this activity of Krishna in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is to give us a chance to buy love of God without having the price to pay for it. We should never forget that we are simply made in the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. Therefore, Narottam Das, he sings in a beautiful song, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, Daya Koro More, Toma Bina Ke Dayalu, Jagata Samsare. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, my dear Lord Krishna Chaitanya, Daya Koro More, give me your mercy. Toma Bina, without you, Ke Dayalu, Jagata Samsare. In this samsara, in this jagat, in this universe, who is more merciful than you? Why? Patita Pavana Hetu Tava Avatar. Because your incarnation is simply meant to liberate the patita, the fallen, patita pavan, the one who can purify the most contaminated. Hetu, that is the reason of your avatar. Therefore, Narottam says, since you have come to liberate the most fallen, Mo Shama Patita Prabhu na Paibear. There is no one more fallen than me, therefore I deserve your mercy. So, not to be take advantage, but this mentality must be there. That when we come before Lord Chaitanya, before Nitai Gaur, before Krishna, we bow down and we say, yes, I am the most fallen. I have no spiritual qualifications. I don't Nicha Jati, Nicha Sangi, Patita Adam. Sanatana Goswami said to Lord Chaitanya, I am Nicha Jati. I am born in the lowest class family. Nicha Sangi, my association was low. Patita Adham, I am the most fallen. Why? Kuvishai Kupa Pori. I fell into the dark well of material enjoyment. Goneyo Janam, and I've wasted my life. This is the mood. Then we can get the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. No one is disqualified. Everyone is qualified. And anyone you meet, anyone you see, you simply speak about Krishna. And then that mercy comes. It is just like a flood. You cannot stop it. When there is flooding, then the water comes and then everybody either flows or drowns. And Narottam continues with the song, Haha Prabhu Nityananda Premananda Sukhi. He begs the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. He said, my dear Lord Nityananda, you are so happy, Sukhi, so joyous. Kepa bolo kana koro ami boro duki. Please give me your mercy because I am the opposite of joyous. I am suffering in the material world. Daya koro Sita Pati Advaita Goshai. Advaita Acharya, who was one of the associates of Lord Chaitanya, he is known as Sita Pati because his wife's name was Sita. He is an incarnation of Mahavishnu. Daya koro, give me your mercy. Tava kripa bole pai Chaitanya nitai. By your mercy, I can achieve the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is our business. We cannot get Krishna by any material endeavor. Nayam atma pravacharena labda. By mundane knowledge, nayam, pravachanena, by discussing the goal of life, you cannot get Krishna simply by knowledge and by discussion. Na medaya, not even by great intelligence. Na bahuna shrutena, not even by hearing so much from different sadhus. Then how do we get Krishna? Yame vaishya vrinute tena labhya. You will get Krishna, tena labhya. You will achieve Krishna when tasyaisya atma vivrinutem tanum swam. Tanum swam. When Krishna decides that yes, I will give you my mercy, then you will get Krishna's mercy. When Krishna chooses you, you will get mercy. And Krishna will choose you if you perform the Sankirtan Yajna, which is the Yajna or the sacrifice meant for this particular time. So, chant Hare Krishna in whatever situation you are, whether you're walking in the street or you're sitting at home, simply chant Hare Krishna night and day, And this performance of chanting Hare Krishna, called the Sankirtan Yagna, will make everything perfect. At one go, you will get the discount that you will get even what you don't deserve, love of God. Thank you very much. So we have some of our regular listeners. Major confusion. My humble obeisances to the assembled Vaishnava devotees. See, this major confusion is my old god brother. His name is Atmavidya Prabhu. He joined the Krishna movement when he was still a schoolboy in Hamburg. And he is a very advanced devotee, but he presents himself as one who is confused. Because in connection with Krishna, we are all confused. At any moment we can fall down. At any moment we can forget our relationship. So, thank you for joining. I feel especially honored that Atmavidya Prabhu is a regular listener to these classes. And also we have Mandi Priyar, Hare Krishna, and Vrishnivamsa Prabhu, Hari Bol to the assembled devotees. Albert DeVos, Vrishnivamsa just became a grandfather, so he's busy taking care of his grandchild. He says that the video is stuttering a lot. Well, my video here is good, so it must be the connection. Sometimes, especially with the lockdown, more and more people are online. There is a limited bandwidth, and because of the limited bandwidth, sometimes the video quality is not good. But I hope you can hear the sound, and we will talk soon. So thank you very much, and we'll see you all next Wednesday. Hare Krishna.